Gentleman from California, Mr. Lieu.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you all for your public service. I'm going to start by simply correcting some misstatements of my Republican colleagues related to the FBI's counterterrorism investigation and the Carter Page warrants. Here are the facts. The FBI's counterterrorism investigation included, in part, the Carter Page Fisa warrants. That entire investigation helped lead to the Mueller Special Counsel investigation. Special Counsel Mueller's investigation resulted in 34 individuals being indicted or companies being indicted, of which 8 have been convicted or pled guilty of violating American criminal laws. Volume 1 of the Mueller report showed that the Russians engaged in a sweeping and systematic attack on our elections. It showed that the Trump campaign knew about this attack. They welcomed it. They gave internal polling data to the Russians, and then they planned their campaign strategy around that Russian attack. We should be thanking the FBI, not trashing them for getting this information out to the American people. Those are the facts. Now, I have questions today about the call detail record program. And my first question is, unlike FISA warrants and so on, none of this goes through a warrant process. Is that correct?
Sir, if I might just explain how the program worked when we...
Sure.
So, just as an example, an NSA analyst, they have a phone number, say, and they have a reasonable, articulable suspicion that that phone number is used by a foreign power engaged in international terrorism. We work at the NSA with our DOJ and our FBI colleagues to draft an application to the FISA court or the Attorney General in an emergency situation. The FISA court reviews that information we present to see if we've met the standard reasonable, articulable suspicion. If the FISA court approves that application, then the telecommunication providers are compelled to provide us with the metadata associated with that phone number. So there is a court.
But before that, before the purge, you had all these records collected without a warrant, correct?
Sir, before the purge, the records that we did collect were a result of going through that FISA process. However, some of the records that we received had technical irregularities with them, which resulted in the purge.
So you had hundreds of thousands of records that went through the FISA process?
The FISA court approves the specific selection term. The records that we get that are associated with that term come from the telecommunication providers.
So one term could result in a lot of records?
Yes, sir, because as you likely know, we're able to get historical records associated with that phone number and prospective records for as long as the order is in place. And we're also authorized to get what we call 2 hops out from that original phone number.
And can you explain what that means to American people?
Absolutely, sir. So if the court approves a phone, say my phone number is associated with international terrorism and agent of foreign power, gone through the court process, they've approved, I'm authorized to get metadata records of other phone numbers that have been in contact with my phone number. So for example, if I'm in contact with Mr. Orlando, I'm authorized to get that. I'm also authorized to get the phone numbers that were in contact with Mr. Orlando's phone number. So if Mr. Orlando was in contact with Mr. Wegman, I'd be authorized to get that, and we call that 2 hops. I'm authorized to get that retrospectively, as well as ongoing for the duration of the court order.
Got it. Thank you. Earlier it was stated that part of that also would include driver's license information.
So again, to be clear, that's traditional use of 215. What was just being described is the CDR program. So the CDR program has nothing to do with driver's license, et cetera. So there's a separate, the regular, ordinary uses of business records allows you to get things like driver's license records, hotel records. That's more targeted. That's based on the relevance of those particular records in a particular investigation.
Would that also include images, like the picture on the driver's license as well?
I'm not certain. Sure, we can go back.
Let us know.
Yeah, we can let you know.
I don't actually know, but
So thank you for your answers. My personal view is that this CDR program, also known as sort of metadata program, to me it does violate privacy. The government could tell, for example, just some metadata, whether a person called a suicide prevention hotline or Alcoholics Anonymous or a sex chat line or a bankruptcy lawyer or a divorce lawyer. So to me, that's just too much information for the government to have. In addition, with the 2 hops, I think it captures too many people. So without a greater showing of why this system is efficient or has resulted in actual concrete advantages to government, I'm unlikely to support its reauthorization. With that, I yield back.